Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
All right, what's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video, and I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. All right, so this week I'm making this video pretty early in the week. It'll still probably go up Thursday or Friday, but won't be in town when this goes up. So as far as the injury report, it's probably not going to be updated the way I want it to be. So right now the key injuries for the Lions, not the Lions. I'm looking at Marvin Jones's name. For the Jaguars, I would say is Marvin Jones. He's their number one guy. I'll get into him in a little bit, but that's probably what they're looking at for key injuries. For us, it's mostly about Tony. I don't think he's going to be back, but I think the big person that we're waiting to get back is Azeez Ojulari. If he can come back, I think that'll help us a lot. Whenever he's been out there, he's been really effective. But if he can't go, I think the Giants will still be okay. But as far as the injury report, if anything changes, if anything spectacular happens, I'll put a graphic somewhere right here or something to show you who's out, who's playing, if anything crazy happens. But going past the injury report, I'm going to start off with just giving just a quick kind of overview of what they've done this season. They started off 2-1. They lost week 1, won 2 straight. But ever since then, they've lost 3 straight. In 3 of their games, they've scored 10 or less points. But in 3 of their games, they've scored over 20. Their most impressive win is probably when they put up 38 on the Chargers. 38-10 on the Chargers. Completely blew them out. This team is pretty much like Jekyll and Hyde. They could be a powerhouse where they get the best of Trevor Lawrence and they get the best of their team, the best of the running game. Or they could be, they could score 10 points or 6 points is the least they've scored this season. You look at it, 4.9 yards per carry for them on the year this season, and they're 41% on third down. I don't have their red zone stats in front of me, but if I could remember, I'm pretty sure they were about average in the red zone on offense. You look at their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, 9 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns. So if you add those 2 rushing touchdowns, he's already at 11. He only had 12 touchdowns last year. So this is a much better start than he did last year. And I guess he's probably on pace for about 25, 26 touchdowns this year. So good thing for Trevor Lawrence. He's run for 9 first downs. So he's going to be a threat if we play man coverage and we leave the middle of the field open. He's not going to be afraid to take those yards. He's also someone that's going to be able to run and throw the ball while on the run. That's what he's been doing since high school at a high level. So we're going to have to be on the lookout for that. We're going to have to stay disciplined, and we're going to have some sort of a spy that just doesn't leave that middle of the field open, because he'll just take those yards every time straight up the middle. When you look at aggressiveness percentage for throws that, go into tight windows, he's last in the league as far as throws that go into tight windows. So that could mean his receivers are getting open, or that could just mean he's just not taking those risks. But he's still a young player. I'm not going to write him off. I'm not going to say he can't make those big time throws, because he has the arm to do it. He has the arm. He has the potential to pretty much do anything on the field. So as far as that goes, what we've seen so far, he has not really forced the ball into the tightest windows. Moving on, his yards to the sticks is usually about a yard away from the first down marker. So I always try to explain this stat. Pretty much what this means is, on average, he's throwing about 9 yards down the field. On average. So that doesn't mean he only throws 9 yards down the field. That doesn't mean he's only dinking and dunking. But on average, he's throwing 9 yards. So that means, or not even 9 yards, he's throwing 1 yard below the first down marker, whatever down it is. So shows that he's not a guy that is, some guys are well above that first down marker where they're constantly throwing it deep. They're not a team that consistently just goes deep over and over and over again. That's Trevor Lawrence. He's a guy that can destroy you, or a guy that can lose his team the game. He's still a young player. He's still figuring it out. So that's just what you get with a young player like that, especially on a team like Jacksonville, where he doesn't have everything ready-made to go for him. 2 good running backs. You think of Hasty too. They got three decent running backs, but I really look at Etienne and Robinson, James Robinson. Those guys complement each other well. You think Robinson is more of the, every down, thumper. Etienne can do some catching. He can do some running. He's a slasher. Sort of like similar to what Kenyon Drake is, except a lot better of a player, in my opinion. They got some running backs. They run the ball. Hasty had a big run. He had like a 60-yard run last year. So they've got guys that can hurt you in the running department. And the Giants right now, believe it or not, are giving up the most yards per carry this year, 5.6 yards per carry. We're tied with a couple of other teams, but we're giving up the most yards per carry. So we have got to figure out a way to tighten that up, because we did not want to allow this team to start running the ball and allow this young quarterback to get comfortable. That's the last thing that we need to be doing. You look at their receivers. You got Christian Kirk, who they paid a ton of money to, but he's not really a guy that scares me. Zay Jones and then Marvin Jones. And like I said, I think Marvin Jones is their best receiver. Kirk can, of course, go deep. He can definitely make some plays. I'm not saying he's not a guy that can't do that. But the guy that I'm really thinking can hurt us is Marvin Jones. And if he's not playing, I think that gives us a really good chance to kind of shut them down on offense. The offensive line and pass protection has not been the best so far. They've not been the best. They added some pieces. They got Brandon Scherf down there, but they've still been kind of struggling to keep Trevor Lawrence upright. Some Jaguars fans are saying that the line stinks. Some Jaguars fans are saying that Trevor Lawrence is causing the line to give up sacks. So we'll see on Sunday what the truth is. But either way, teams are getting pressure on Trevor Lawrence. When you look at their defense, the guys that stand out to me, Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker, and Devin Lloyd. Those are three guys in that front seven that stand out to me. Devin Lloyd is a guy that can cover, a guy that is a speedy linebacker, a guy that's going to be chasing Saquon sideline to sideline. Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen are two edge players. Josh Allen's a little bit more proven. Trayvon Walker, he's a raw athlete. He could, take over a game. He could disappear. But I promise you, whoever lines up over to Andrew Thomas will not be doing much of anything. Just pretty much like how everyone else has not done anything across from Andrew Thomas. But those three guys out of anything stand out to me. Their secondary is just filled with all around really solid players. There's no one that I really say like, oh, that's a dominant player, but they're all really solid to good players in their secondary. So it's not like you're just going to be able to do anything. They've got 7 interceptions so far this year. They've given up the 8th most passing yards, but at the same time, they've got 7 interceptions. So we got to secure the ball this week. We got to do that. 7 interceptions compared to the Giants only having 1 is a huge difference. 7 interceptions is through 6 weeks. That's over an interception a game. So that's something right there. And they're only giving up 3.6 yards per carry on runs. I think they're best in the league, if I'm not mistaken, on yards per carry. They are very stingy in the run game as far as yards per carry goes. And that's going to be something that we try to figure out with Saquon. Is it just that Saquon is going to be too good for them and he's going to break the spell of them not giving up that many yards per carry? Or is it going to be more of what we kind of dealt with last week with Baltimore, is they shut down the run and Daniel Jones is going to have to step up and make some plays? We'll see. 43% third down conversion as far as the defense. That's about average. 23rd, though, in red zone percentage. So they're allowing teams to score when they get down there for the most part. We just got to make sure we get down there. We got to make sure we execute. And it's strange to me that they're only giving up 3.6 yards per carry, but they're so bad in the red zone. That's all I have right now for the Jaguars. Again, if anything pops up in the injury report, that'll be up there. But as far as we go, it's really simple. I say it every week, and I'm going to say the same phrase pretty much every week until something all of a sudden changes about how we're winning games. On offense, ignore the 3 yards per carry. Ignore how good they've been on run defense so far. Come out, make them prove that they can stop the run. Make them prove that they can stop Saquon Barkley, they can stop Daniel Jones, they can stop Matt Breida in the run game. Make them prove it. If they can't prove it, keep running the ball straight up. I really feel like every single team that has a running game worth anything, you need to make sure that that other team shows you that they can stop the run. If they don't, then come out and run the ball until they show you they can stop you. Daniel Jones has to play another clean game. I think this is a team that we can afford to make mistakes, but he's still got to play a clean game. We don't want to give a team that I think at this point we're probably a little bit more talented than. We don't want to give that team any steam. So continue to protect the ball like he's been doing. Evan Neal was really solid last week against the Ravens. Did a lot better. They changed his set to a vertical set, and he's playing a lot better than he has before. So if he can do that and he can be solid and Andrew Thomas on the other side can be elite, that really kind of starts to eliminate your two pass rushers. And I think Evan Neal against Trayvon Walker in college, if I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm remembering things wrong. I'm pretty sure Evan Neal against Trayvon Walker pretty much kind of shut him down. But we'll see how that goes. I think if he's able to play good, that'll give Daniel Jones a lot of time to throw the ball. The interior of the line is still a work in progress, but I think this interior isn't as good as a bunch of the defensive linemen we've gone through in the past. Wan'Dale Robinson is back, so he's going to have to, make that step up. He was limited last week. They put him on a pitch count, but I think Wan'Dale Robinson is the only guy that you really are going to have to say he can beat double, he can beat single coverage. Get him the ball early and often. That's going to open up things for everyone else on the team. And then this is kind of something with a caveat. Slow down the game. I don't want to get into a shootout here. Now, if we go out early, then sure, of course, you blow a team out, you blow a team out. But as far as, going back and forth, if it looks like they're starting to pick up the pace, we got to slow the game down. Because that's how we've been winning games. Slow that game down. Make all of those moments much more important because you slow down that game. You limit the possessions. And you make those key third downs, you make those red zone touchdowns, you make those key stops when you need them, and that'll do a lot of good for this team. But don't try to get into a shootout. Don't go away from who you are and start trying to throw it deep every play to try to deal with, this team scoring a couple of times. Marcus Johnson and Darius Slayton, they've had opportunities to make big plays. Two things here: when they have these opportunities to go down the field, they got to catch the ball first off. Daniel Jones has to get them the ball, and they just got to just keep at it. Take the chances that the defense will give them, and please just catch the ball. That's really it. They're going to get opportunities now that Wan'Dale is out there, so take advantage of them. As far as the defense goes, before I wrap this up, D-line, I have no sort of things that the D-line need to change how they're playing. Just keep doing what they're doing. Dexter Lawrence is on a tear. Sack, I think, in 3 straight games. Pretty sure he has sack in 3 straight games. He's on fire. You look at Kayvon Thibodeau, he's picking up steam. He's looking like he's getting more comfortable every week. Leo is going to have another week under his belt where he's more comfortable. Hopefully Azeez comes back and he's able to make some noise. So the defensive line is shaping up to look like a really good defensive line, and they just got to keep doing what they're doing, especially in the run game. We just need help from these linebackers. Last week, Jalen Smith got caught out of position a couple of times really badly. He's got to get back to playing like how he was, diagnosing quickly, making those tackles quickly. So we got to make sure that as linebackers, they're going out there and they're filling the right gaps and they're not allowing guys to cut back and have 20, 30-yard runs every couple of seconds, every couple of plays like Kenyon Drake was last week. We cannot allow that to happen because they have multiple good running backs. So we can't allow that to happen. Trevor will give us opportunities. Trevor Williams. Trevor Lawrence will give us opportunities. When he throws the ball to you, catch the ball, please. Adoree Jackson, please catch the ball. This dude has to have the worst hands ever. But defense, when he throws the ball to you, catch the ball. He's going to give us opportunities. We just got to capitalize on it. We got to drive on that ball when it's there. Got to catch the ball. And then finally, Don't let Evan Ingram catch a touchdown on us. Don't let that happen, defense. Just don't let it happen. But that's all I have for this week. This is again me recording this on Tuesday. If any injuries come up between now and that, and people coming back, obviously I'll have to drop that at the beginning of the video, like I said. Other than that, guys, enjoy the game. I'll probably upload this on Thursday or Friday, maybe Friday, because the injury report will be out. But when you see this, tell me who you think will win. I'm thinking that the Giants will win this game pretty easily. I think that in past years, you haven't been able to say as a Giants fan, this will be a gimme kind of win. But I'm gonna lean into my fandom here, and I'm gonna say the Giants win this game 24-7. 24-7, New York Giants. I'm gonna say it in a blowout. It's the first time I predicted a blowout on this channel since I've taken this serious. So don't let me down, Giants. Go out there, win this game, put down your foot, show them what you got. You made it this deep into the video. Come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.